How we doing? Happy Wednesday. Hopefully this is a better stream than Monday. Hopefully the internet is fixed. Or YouTube has got itself together. Evening from Leeds. Good evening to you in Leeds. I love Leeds. I went to university in Leeds. It's a wonderful city. Beautiful place. Love it. Some call him the space cowboy. Some call him the hipster of war. You can all just call me Josh. Or alright, mate. So how you been? You had a good 3 days? What did you study, Warhipster? I studied music technology. Is what I did. I did music technology at Leeds Metropolitan University, which is now known as Leeds Beckett, I believe. I don't stay in touch. I'm not in the alumni circle. I did that between 2009 and 2012. It's our Lord and King of Contrast, the one, the only, Josh. Hello, I'm the favourite. Hello, Cameron. Biltong Boo. Hello. Grey Wolf. Jack. Zangerous. Liquid Phoenix. Tattooed Zoologist. Chris Lawton. Madison. And the Colonel. Or the 149, the Deathcore of Krieg. Hello, Croatoan. Modern History at Leeds Uni 2001 and 2004. So you went to the good uni. Hello, Croatoan. Alaric. Sean, hello. Hello, hello, hello. We're live. Hopefully for a better stream than Monday. Today we are going to be building Thranduil, King of the Woodland Realm, on Elk. We have no instructions. We have no guidance whatsoever other than the pictures, wishful thinking, and hope. But it should be fine. Because I'm a big boy. And that's the end of that sentence. Hello, Captain Mannering. Sorry for missing Monday. It's alright, you didn't miss much on Monday. You missed a disaster. Well, it's an expert model. 'Tis indeed snowy. So we have a ton of resin to get through today. I haven't really done anything on it. Experts don't need instructions. Well, but I'm not an expert. I suck. Anyway. So we have... Let's go to this. Bah! Oh yeah, by the way, 90,000 subscribers. I was going to reveal that here. I was going to be like, hey guys, guess what? 90,000 subscribers. We did it. You know, I wanted to wait until it was over 90,010 because, you know, I know a bunch of people who'll go, haha, this will be really funny, and just unsubscribe. But then they won't be able to chat anymore. So that's fun. Hello, Loco TV. How are you doing? 100k this year. Let's go. I hope so. 9,994 to go now. There's a 4-figure number, which feels much more manageable. We've got September, October, November, December. 4 months to do it. So that's 2,500 subs a month. And whatever's left of August. 10 days? 11 days. 11 days of August. So there we go. But hopefully it'll happen. You know, who could say? Who knows if it will. So yeah, here we go. So what we have is this. This is Thranduil. We have a pile of resin. We're going to be building this up today, with a view to doing it sooner rather than later. 4 months left in 2025 makes me feel very uncomfortable. Tell me about it. It's crazy that we're already approaching. I mean, look, my birthday is at the end of September, and so whenever we start approaching that time, I'm like, yeah, there's not much left of the year left to go. Where is my knife? I don't see it. I found it. Good evening, Swarm. I'm very much looking forward to a certain Dragon Empress video coming soon from you. What model's that? Yay for the 90k. Thank you, Chris. Lick that like button, says Captain Mannerings. Couldn't agree more. Everybody, hit the like button. It is a free way to support the channel. Is by liking the stream. Because if you like the stream, more people will find the stream. They'll come and watch. They'll join us in this lovely family that we have. And maybe they'll help us on the road to 100,000 subscribers. You know, if you've ever thought, hey Josh, I'm really worried about you, I want you to have a rest. Well, guess what? I've got rest scheduled for when we get to 100,000 subscribers. So if you want to see me have a rest, you've got to help me get to 100k. You see? That's the way this works. So, I think we're going to start just by building up this scenic base, because that just feels like the sensible and the quick way to do things, to get us off the mark. So realistically, all we need to just glue is a couple of pieces together, and I actually don't have any super glue in my eyesight because I'm pretty certain it's on the other desk. Resin. It is indeed resin. It is over there. I had to repair a certain scythe-wielding person. So here we go. It's happening. The first bit of glue is going to go on to Thranduil. And it's just going to be this. So we're just going to whoop-ah and whoop-ah. There we go. Easy. Oh no, I messed it up. It doesn't feel particularly secure in there. Is it even making contact? It is. I'm just going to add a little bit more glue. Look at how efficiently we got started today. Have you pre-washed all the bits? Oh yeah. This ain't my first rodeo with resin. I forgot that Thranduil's base has a Gundabad Orc. Free Gundabad tutorial with Thranduil on Moose Boy. Quite the bargain. Oh, exactly. Exactly. Do you ever gap fill your minis, Josh? No, I don't, because I'm a bad hobbyist. Jared Evans, thank you very much for becoming a member. That is very, very kind of you. You are our first new member of the day and our 8th new member of the week. You're a legend, Jared. Thank you very much. How do you think you'll tackle the Nightbringer? Well, I don't think I would tackle it. I'm quite a husky man. If I tackle the Nightbringer, it will turn to paste and dust beneath my body. I'm large. I know you probably don't see much of me, but, you know. Doesn't seem sensible. Only 28 likes. I know, Junkle Camper. Maybe people just don't like me enough to support me for free. Thank you to everybody who already has. Oh, there is quite the mould line on this little bit of pillar. Check this out. Look at that. Wow. That is not meant to be there. You can tell because it's linked to the gate. And so it was removed. With great prejudice. So, this model was incredibly difficult to get my hands on. Took a long time to get this one. But we finally got one, because Ricky Drinks Paint got in touch and said, it's in stock, go! So there's one more incredibly rare MESBG model that we want to get our hands on, and that is Gwaihir the Windlord, I believe. I believe that is his name. Right, so that way round. That one goes allegedly that way round. Yeah. Like that. That's not what I meant, you cheeky monkey. How will I tackle the Nightbringer? Well, I haven't thought too much about it, but honestly, by the looks of things, it's going to be mostly a case of painting in most of the colours in the places that you want them to be, like the pinks and the greens and whatnot, and then to hit the whole thing with like a black Templar wash. Any silver, I'll just borrow the recipe from my Catan Void Dragon video. And the black details, I'll just probably do Black Legion. Do you plan on making a Gwaihir tutorial as well at any point? I would love to, but you can't get your hands on the bloody model. My mind has been blown by your ability to use contrast paints like you do. Good. That's what I aim for. There we go. We're a whole 3 steps down. Just came back off my 2nd ever game of Spearhead. Did you enjoy it? I really enjoyed the Spearhead event I went to. I really enjoyed that a lot. I thought it was a perfect game format for event-based play. Honestly, it was excellent. And I could really see how, like, if you get deep into the weeds of it, how easy it would be to become an elite Spearhead player. And I don't mean like you know, the game is simplistic and easy and whatnot, but what I mean is like if you're really into that kind of thing, you could lose yourself in Spearhead quite simply, because you would know exactly what everyone else is going to do. Whenever you play the big mainline games, obviously there's a chance that someone will bring something that you've just never heard of or seen before, no matter how skilled you are at the game. But I can really see how the format of Spearhead just would really suit that competitive level. If someone says, "Oh, I've got the Seraphon Spearhead," and you know how that works, you'll know how you're set for life at that point. You know what to avoid, how to outplay it, and this, that, and the other. And I really like that for a game system, particularly like a small, fast-paced game system like Spearhead. Asked right before you mentioned it. Oh, Guai here. Yes. Yeah, just very difficult model to get one's hands on. There we go. The scenic base is constructed, I believe. I think that's all it requires. You has Thranduil looking for Bird Boy, but no Piggy Rider love. I thought we already have that, don't we? I'm the favourite. I think I have one. I think you sent me one, didn't you? Does anyone have the mini of the 4 hobbits hiding under the log with the Black Rider? Such a cool model. I do. I do have it. I have Get Off the Road. Maybe we'll do that as our celebration of 100,000 subscribers. That would be a nice one, wouldn't it? Seminal moment. It would be cinema. Cinema. Why do you use Lamian medium with them most of the time as opposed to contrast medium? Sorry, newish to the hobby. Because Lamian medium is a great flow improver for contrast paint. It just makes it flow a lot better than it necessarily does in its contrasting format. And contrast medium as a paint, what it does is it creates more contrast paint. So it doesn't actually change the property. It just dilutes it. So you'll get a weaker color as you do it, which is a good thing sometimes. But if you want to improve the flow because you're doing a large area or you're doing blending or whatever, Lamian medium is just so much better for it because it just improves, like I said, it improves the flow, keeps it wetter for longer, and it makes it more runny, which makes it easier to apply. It becomes more familiar that way. How come they never made a product like resin glue or something just so we don't have to rely on super glue? That is a good question for Games Workshop. They did actually used to sell super glue, but they don't anymore. And I'm not sure why, but it'd probably be due to some form of illegality or something like that. Shipping reasons, I would imagine. Right, I think we just need to glue in. I'm pretty certain one of these halves needs to be glued in and the other one doesn't because it's a scenic base, right? So this base goes in here. So you want to be able to remove him for the sake of being able to play with him. So it's a case of like that sort of thing, right? So this is the scenic base bit, which I believe goes in that orientation there. Like that. Like that sort of thing. I'm pretty certain. So we'll glue in this half, I think. It's just the taller half. So we'll do that now, because then we can go and do the rest of the figure. And then we can come back. That looks to be about right to me. Just pop that over there. Okay. On to the rest of it. So, we have a body. We have a cape. We have 2 legs. We have Thranduil's body. We have a 3rd leg and the head. 2 antlers. Some stuff and things. We have the sword and we have the arm as well. So it seems sensible to start with the moose body, and that's what we will do. What are you guys working on tonight? If anything at all. If you're just watching me, that's perfectly fine. There's some angular things to this moose. That'll make highlighting it nice and easy. Alright, so by the looks of things, this foot is what is going to go onto the base. Or one of the feet is going to go onto the base. So maybe that goes in there. Ah, that makes sense. Cool. Okay, let's go for his legs next. See if we can get these in the right order. I love not having instructions. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. It's my favourite thing. When you don't have any instructions and there's only one way to build a model, it's just the best. I mean, why even have a parts list if you're not going to print some instructions, you know? Why not just get rid of that part as well? I remember the cape being a bit of a pain and having to green stuff. Maybe I just got a slightly warped bit. We'll see what happens. I mean, if I have a gap, I have a gap. That's just how we roll around here. I feel like it makes me a more relatable hobbyist by being bad at the building. Let me know if you agree. Do you want me to pay Millie to build it for you? No, I wouldn't want to inflict that on Millie. You don't want to result in getting her money. In her getting money. I see how it is. I would love for you to support Millie. In any way that you wish to. But forcing her to build a model. They're bearing in mind. I'll have to ship to her. Which means it'll take longer for it to get done. That's good to know. I was looking at the new troll coming out and thought it could be a cool project. It does look cool, doesn't it? The Gundabad troll. It looks awesome. I had a good look at it in the pre-order article, and I was like, I don't think I've properly looked at this before, because, oh, that is a very, very pretty model. Some might say it's noteworthy. Alright, we've got another leg. And I think this one is also one that's going to be making contact with the ground. No, it's not. Very interesting. Oh, no, we got a bit of a mould line there I haven't got rid of. Let's deal with that first. Gotcha. Okay. Two legs down, let's go! Isn't the UK really small where you guys are practically neighbours? Yeah, I mean, we all do live in one little village in the countryside. Hello, Elijah. This is the thing about some of these might look like this has got like some big gaps. The thing is the elk is quite dark in colour anyway, so it'll just look like a deeper recess there anyway. So I'm not actually too fussed about filling some of those things like that. There's such a thing as picking your battles, as it were. It doesn't help when you get the super glue all over your thumbs, though. So allegedly this now goes in here. That sort of thing. There we go. Elk body built. Hello, Philip. I'm doing well. How are you? Taking a painting break from Votan to come chill out. Nice. Are you enjoying your Votan? Alright, what's the sensible thing to do next? Probably the head. Let's get the head on there. Let's do it. Wow. I feel like chicken tonight. And we had chicken tonight. That was a silly statement. However, I feel like getting the head on here before doing the antlers and stuff is probably the right choice to make. Because trying to glue it in when everything's been super glued is going to result in snapping. I'm 99% certain of that. So we just put the head on first and deal with the consequences later if that's just as difficult. Apparently I have to sit here and hold this for a while. So that's fun. Hello, Ed. Hello, Sir Strummingfish. These look like some very small resin pieces on the right. Yeah. Lots of teeny tiny bits of resin. It's my favourite kind. This is the top of the... What the hell is this bit then? Is that part of Thranduil? Oh, it does look like it's part of him. No idea. Boo-doo-boo-doo-boo-boo. Wow. Okay, we have the horse's ears. Not horse, it's a moose. We have the moose's ears. God, we're so efficient tonight. Yeah. That'll do it. That's an elk. It's not even a moose. Good lord. Ah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on 37 likes on the stream. Can we get that to a 50? That's only 13 more people. Right, these look like a nightmare. Oh, and they are. I was shocked at the amount of release agent that was on Thranduil when he came out of his bath. There was a lot of it. It was very, very milky. The water that came out. I was like, whoa. These days you don't get a whole lot. But yeah, there was a ton on Thranduil. I can't tell if that's a bit that's meant to be there. Doesn't really look like it, but then it also does at the same time. Let's consult the instructions. No, I don't think it is meant to be there. What do you think? See this little nub in here? See, because from that angle, it kind of looks like it's meant to be there. But from that angle, it definitely looks like it's not meant to. Should we consult the other one? Usually these things match. In some way, shape or form. Yeah, see, this one doesn't have it. 100% doesn't have that bit. Cool, I'm going to trust you, Iffy. Okay, that came off really easily. Yeah, it's not meant to be there. Okay, I'm pretty certain that's this side of the elk. So in this orientation. Pretty certain that one goes that way round. What did I do with the other one? Oh, it's there. Looks like a bubble collection area. That's what I'm going to refer to my house as. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a bubble collection area. Nah, this isn't a bubble collection area. This is a dream factory where hobby dreams are made. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, I think that one goes around that way. Right, let's have a look. Thranduil. On elk. I need to look at you head on. Okay. It definitely curls in, not outwards. Yeah, I'm reasonably confident. We're just going to go for it. Here we go. Oh, it's another instance where I have to sit and hold it for a few minutes. And I haven't changed the chat screen. So I can't see what any of you guys are saying right now. Because I was too busy looking at the picture. So I can only apologise. Do you know what? The sensible thing to do is just to move it back. Like that. Now I can see what you're saying. And now my monitor wants to go to sleep. Great. And now the other monitor wants to go to sleep. Oh, for God's sake. I'm trying to glue a stupid elk horn. Why must you fail me now? We've done one. Just grow an extra pair of hands. I could get a lot done with an extra pair of hands, to be honest. Think of all the extra videos I could make. So, anybody seen any good movies recently? That was a lot quicker that time. I'm still just going to hold it for the moment. Okay. Who knows what this bit here... I can actually ask the instruction, number 8. No. 2. Cloak attachment. Oh, it goes on the cloak. Oh, I see. Right, okay. So do we reckon Thranduil we just glue into the elk? I think we do. I would highly recommend Colourforge Super Glue Activator Aerosol. It's literally changed my life when gluing resin and metal miniatures. What does that do? That sounds like a big spray. Is it a big spray? I don't want to glue things outside. If you glue them to your nose, that won't work well. That was my next choice. Started watching Peacemaker and enjoyed it. Is season 2 of that out now? I haven't watched season 1, but... Don't you want to paint it first? What, before gluing it? Absolutely not. We don't do sub-assemblies around here. Nobody 2 was excellent. Okay, how many point pieces are left? We've got 1, 2, 3 pieces. Is that it? Wow, time flies. Then I suppose we can spend many hours trying to get the trying to get him to stick to the base. Get ready for the most riveting content. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, it's a little knife. That's cool. Okay, so do we think gluing the arms or the cloak in first is going to be the play? I mean, I guess we can look at it. Congratulations on 90k subs. Thank you very much, Fake Street Spirit. Does this model come with a dismount for Thranduil? It does not, Mr. Drafterpants. There is a version, but I don't much fancy painting it because it's rubbish. I think it's fine cast and everything. So that will go in there. And then that will go in there. GameX! Thank you very much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. That's very, very kind of you. To celebrate the 90k. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Better than more models for my shame pile. Or... Let's just get the arms clipped off first. Let's do that. That's a good thing to do. What colour are you going to put in your airbrush to prime that, Josh? Maybe like fluorescent pink? That feels like a really good colour to prime Thranduil. I joke, but I think most common thing that I get told is, despite the evidence to the contrary, when looking at one of my models having painted it yellow, everyone says you can't paint yellow now without priming it pink first in the recesses. And I'm like, well, I didn't do it in this video and it looks pretty good. And like, I'm well aware of how that looks, but I'm not doing it. Right, you're saying do the arms first. Alright, let's go for it. Alright, sword arm going in first. Did the Fellowship do okay? Fellowship has done very well. It's done alright, you know. It made me happy that it's done what it has done. It's done a lot better than I probably first anticipated or gave it credit for that it would do. The reason being is that it was an out of context MESBG video. And when I say out of context, I mean I released it when no one's talking about it, if you see what I mean. So it's not like it's how to paint the Fellowship right in the midst of a re-release or something like that. I have stuck this arm to my finger. I hate working with super glue so much. There we go. There we go. It's had about 4,290 views, which is good. If you haven't already, by the way, Adam and I very recently did a video about the new Flesh Eater Courts Battle Tome, which can be viewed now. It's rules-based content. It's also a bit of a canary in the mine video to see if that kind of content does all right on the channel, because I'd like to do more of it. Would even potentially do it for things that aren't new battle tomes, you know, if that kind of thing goes down well. So if you haven't already seen it and you'd like to see it, it's available now. It's called Do You Paint? Just Paint or Play Flesh Eater Courts Battle Tome. Something like that. It came out yesterday. I learned a lot whilst editing it. Do you think you'll do one of those for the Tree Boys or the Slutty Elves? Yeah, I mean, we can do. Like I said, if the content does okay, then we'll do some more of it. And if it doesn't do okay, then we won't do any more of it, because I've got to be sensible with how I spend my time. You know, we gotta make the money. Don't let the money make you. I believe is the saying. Oh wow, that really does not go together. That's interesting. Oh no, it does. I was just doomsaying. Okay. That's fine. Above 50 likes. Yes, we did it. Well done. Can we get to 69 likes? That's the next big lol. Also, chat, if you haven't already, this is the part where I do have to do some professional begging. If you haven't already and you would like to support the channel a little bit more, other than just by liking the stream or subscribing, you can, of course, become a member of the channel. There's a paid way of supporting the channel. Or if you're already a member, you can consider gifting some memberships out to the rest of the community to share the love in the Discord, for example. Let's get access to the Discord if you go that way. We have a goal of 50 members. We are 37 away from them. But of course, liking the video is the free way to support the channel, which is perfect. You, good sir, just got my like. Thank you very much, Bradley. I must say just that I love your Felgrim paint job. It is really top notch. Oh, thank you, Fake Street Spirit. That video should be coming out, I want to say tomorrow. I think it'll either be tomorrow or Friday. There's also the Arcanist Evaluator video to come out. That is another one that needs doing. Oh my goodness me. I'm the favourite with 50. A 50 bomb. I'm the favourite. You, sir. You, sir, are the favourite. A 50 bomb. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so very, very much. That is unbelievably kind of you. I will update the tracker in just a moment. I'm just making sure that Thranduil goes together. Consider that today's bribe. To paint Thranduil. Okay. He's nearly there. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so very much. Incredible. We're on 63 out of 50. You did it! Okay, we're going to go for a risky maneuver here, chat. We're going to glue in his cape adornment, and then we're going to very quickly go straight into putting the cape on him. Basically is what we're going to do. It's a risky maneuver because it could all go horribly wrong. Maybe we just try and do them both at the same time. Let's just go for it. Why not? Live on the edge. Alright, here we go. Bit of super glue down here, up in there. So this one goes in there, like that. And this one goes in here like so. It almost worked. It didn't work. It was too risky. We're so close. I think maybe the sensible thing here to do is to actually remove these little guide pegs. I'm going to do that because they don't need to be there. But we do need to get this in. That'll do. Drop it everywhere. Need to take a bit more off. That's annoying. This is why resin stresses me out, because it's stupid material that doesn't work. And then the whole thing explodes in your hand when you're trying to do it anyway. Ugh. I'm the favorite with a $100 and a $50. Official bribe, secondary bribe. That is very, very generous of you. Thank you very much. I just exploded Thranduil, so... Again, this is one of those situations where having some instructions on the order of operations would be really useful. The good news is exploding it was probably exactly what needed to happen, because now he's finally together. There we go. We did it. We're going to leave it to dry just for a little bit. Because we need to assemble it to the base. But thank you very much. I'm the favourite. That's very, very generous. You're very, very kind. Please stop now. It's too much. Let somebody else have a go, you know? And then we shall make the final push to assemble. Is he prince? No, he's king. I am just going to check the how stable the base connection point is. Oh, it feels pretty good actually. Yeah, it feels like it could be pretty sturdy. I mean, we'll see, obviously, in due course, but... Okay, it's in its drying phase. And we do also need to just smooth down the base of the bottom of this base, because classic Forge World resin bases, they very rarely, if ever, sit fully flat, so you never know exactly where all the connection points are going to be. So if you do this, for example, sometimes you can see daylight through the other side. Yep, I can see it. There's only a couple of little spots there that are actually touching the base. So it's a tricky one, that. Just holding it up to the light. I mean, it's got a reasonably good contact point. Over on this quadrant, over here on the left, and right in the middle as well. So I'm not too concerned about getting this one on the base. Like I said, sometimes it takes forever to actually get it stuck down. I'm the favourite with another $50 super chat. No, I am the one who bribes for MESBG content. You can't stop me. Well, I really am a child. A child with money. How far in are we to the live? Hello. Oh, hi, Emma. We are... When did I start? 8:30. So we are an hour and 20... No, an hour and 18 minutes in. Maths failed me there for a moment. Mathematics. Okay. Okay. Let us attempt the final part. Well, no, it's the second to last bit of assembly. Let's do it. Let's try this on camera with everyone watching as well, because that always adds... I love adding pressure to things. That makes things easier. Now, could I have left this to dry for longer? Absolutely, I could have done. So this is us for the next 15 minutes or so. Whilst I hold my hands as steady as I possibly can. I have never worked with GW Forge World resin. How do you straighten bent resin bits? Also, how common are air bubbles in current GW Forge World kits? The newer ones, less and less so. You don't get that many air bubbles in a newer kit. The older ones generally tend to maybe have a couple, but they're better than most resin kits, I would say. As for straightening the bits out, the best way I've found, boil some water and dip it in, and then hoik it out pretty quickly after. Doing it live, brace for impact. Because boiled water just means it immediately heats up and it kind of shocks the resin. You don't need to cool it down afterwards, though. If you cool it down, you'll make it more brittle. Can you use boiled water to flatten the resin base toppers then? No, that's slightly different because the resin base toppers are they're inconsistent on the bottom, so they look flat. Oh my god, it worked. So what happens is they look flat, right? So if I show you the bottom of this one, right, it looks flat. See? And it'll even feel flat to the touch, but you turn it to the side and like there you'll see it looks pretty flat. But if you then shine a bright light behind it on the base, you might be able to see daylight in some instances. So for example on this piece, as you can see, there's a little bit of a raised part just here. I haven't got a bright light to shine on it though. So this will go together absolutely no problem, which means it's meant to do that for some reason. See how that just lines up? So really what you should have is you should have some sandpaper and just sand it down, but I don't have that to hand. I'm the favourite with a $200 super chat. I told you to cease. That is exceptionally generous of you. Thank you so very, very much. You have gifted a lot, sir. That's very generous of you. I'm trying to build Thranduil here. Let's see if it worked. Oh, it worked. We are gaming now. Oh. Eyes. Stinging. Is that how that's supposed to go? I suppose the head doesn't fall that far away from the body. That would make sense. Yeah, but then all the cobblestones are lopsided. That doesn't make much sense to me. But then you are very small. South it is then. I always like going south. Somehow it feels like going downhill. Like, I think that's meant to be the orientation. There, like that. Okay, this is the last bit. So what we're going to do is going to put a ring of super glue like that. Now I'm just going to hold this. The people want just paint or play Daughters of Cain, rhymes and all. Well, when the new book comes out, we'll do it. If this one does okay, we'll do another one. We'll do Nighthaunt as well. Might try and get that in next week. And see how that one does, because everyone's mad about the Nighthaunt book at the moment. Has it been trending well? It's been doing okay. It's been a 7 of 10 video. There was a brief window yesterday where it was a 4 of 10 video, which is good. But it's a 7 of 10 video at the moment. And like I haven't done a lot of rules content. They are quite time intensive to edit. Is the only thing. Could do some MESBG ones at some point if there is demand. That's the thing, is we can go back and do older factions, and we can even do other games that already have their rules situations. So doing some MESBG ones I think would be really cool. I actually spoke to I'm the Favourite about this the other day, and I suggested the way that I would guess that we would probably do it would be to pick a faction, i.e. Rohan, Gondor, Mordor, Isengard, and then build a list within one of the within one of the many options that we have in there. But it's slightly different and difficult with that regard, because naturally they're a lot more targeted. It's basically a case of picking what your favourite way to do it is. But again, if people would want to see that kind of thing, if you were interested by MESBG but have no way or knowing to start, then we can try it. People like to be mad at stuff, but I'm genuinely interested to see what you make of the new stuff. Personally, I think it's nowhere near as bad as people reckon. Without spoiling the entire content of a video about Nighthaunt, I personally think that the new Nighthaunt book is spectacular for playing GHB 2025. I think you are opened up to a lot more possibilities within the secondaries that are in GHB 2025, which I think makes for a better book overall, is what I would say. It is the ethereal change is not as big as people think it is. It's still annoying. Everything is on everyone's saves have got worse, of course, so you don't have just an army that's on a flat 4-up save for the entire game, which means if you roll statistically higher, you will win all of your games. That if you roll 4s or more statistically higher in a game, you will win that game. If you roll on average, maybe it averages out, but yeah. What moving it to 5 does is fine, but what it then does mean is that you can use all-out defense, and that's still ethereal. So if you use all-out defense and it goes to a 4, you still can't be rendered back to a 5. So you can go to 4s anyway, which I think lends itself towards bringing big blocks of ghosts. And because of the amount of teleports and movement shenanigans and stuff you have in there, you have basically got access to at least 5 out of the 6, I want to say, battle tactics. 5 of 8, 5 of 6. There's a lot. You've got a lot more access to the battle tactics, which therefore means it's a better army for playing the game than it is on the face of it playing casual, where it's not actually that fun an army to play in casual, because as I say, if you roll statistically higher on average on your saves, your opponent won't have any fun. Nighthaunt book has play, judging from Goonhammer. Yeah, no, it does. I think it's really good. Put it this way. Bladegeist Remnants are a great example of a unit that just got significantly better. They did get more pricey, but they got significantly better, I think. I think all of your heavy infantry got significantly better. The reason being is they all went to 2 wounds, and they all gained a... Is it 5-up ward? I want to say 5-up ward. I think it's a 5-up ward. And you have a 5-up save that is ethereal and non-rendable, right? Which you can... Yeah, okay, yes. So, yeah, 5-up ward. 5-up ward, 5-up save. I want to say. If that's the case, you can reinforce that to a block of 20, which is 40 wounds that's non-rendable that you can all-out defense to a 4 with a 5-up ward. How is that worse? That's significantly better than it was. And a lot of the characters still do very, very similar things. So I think you take a block of 20 Bladegeist Revenants. I think you could also take a block of Grimghast Reapers, and you could take a block of 20 Dreadscythe Harridans. So, and that will be an absolute pain for anyone to remove. Do you think Cities of Sigmar will include dwarf units in the future, or will the army be all human? I think, well, I'll tell you what I hope. I hope that what the next wave of Cities of Sigmar stuff is it is a retelling of dwarves. So the current dwarves maybe all go, because they're now in Old World on square bases, but that the dwarves are then replaced with brand new dwarf units, because I don't think the Cities of Sigmar should be all human, because they're not. They're just not. We need more of the... Having all the humans is great. We need more of the... Just like... The Fire Slayers are a very specific subset of Dwarden culture, as are the Caradron Overlords. Same for the Elves. The Lumineth Realm Lords are a very specific subculture, even though they're quite a dominant force in Hysh. But there are... Not all Elves are Lumineth, and not all Dwarves are Fire Slayers or Caradron Overlords. A lot of Dwarden are just Dwarden, who are just trying to exist, and that's why they're, you know, part of the Cities of Sigmar. They're just chilling out in these towns of order, in these cities of order. So I think it would be a real shame if Cities of Sigmar was to get rid of the Dwarden and the Elves. But what I sincerely hope for is that the next wave of releases for Cities of Sigmar is either Dwarden or Elves, in their kind of just like the Steel Helms. Those are just Boggo humans just hanging out in Cities of Sigmar, as part of the sort of standing armies of Hammerhall, for example. So that is what I hope for. Is what I would say. Can I ask you a question, Warhipster? When you use contrast on a layer or a flat place, what do you do to make it look good and not leave a coffee stain? The simplest... Be back when I can get him off the phone. Alright, see you in a bit. I'm the favourite. You generous man. I hope your boss doesn't want too much. The best thing I can do for you on the coffee staining front is I can send a link to this stream. There you go, Alejandro. That stream is called How to Avoid Splotches and Blotches. That's the one you want to watch. I do need to edit that into a proper video. and that will happen eventually. But that stream is where I answer all of those questions, basically. Alistair Gardner, exclamation mark Discord. I am really bad at having exclamation mark prompts. The only one we really have is this. And it doesn't always work. There you go, didn't work. We have a Discord. The Discord server is... Oh no, it did work. Thank you, Nightbot. The Discord is a benefit for becoming either a member or a Patreon subscriber. That is the way to get access to the Warhipster Discord, should you so desire. An AOS extreme version of Iron Breakers would be right up my alley. Some chunky armored heavy elite heavy infantry. That's what I hope for, Zangerous. I want AOS versions of like elf archers, and like basically the Warriors of the Last Alliance. Elf swordsmen, elf spearmen, and elf archers. That's what I really want. And then some elven wizards. The Dwarden, I'd like some super heavy infantry. Just to kind of act as a wedge in the Cities of Sigmar army. I would like for them to each get, like, not a kind of the same size as Talia Vedra, but for there to be a, like, not a Grand Marshal, but like a, you know, I don't know, Grand Counselor Varric von Zarduk or something, who is, you know, just this, you know, the High Engineer or something like that. I don't know. Something like that to lead like a Dwarden faction that is within Cities of Sigmar, and same for the elves. It would be nice to see some other races as well appear in the Cities of Sigmar, because again, they're not all just humans. They are just folks who are diametrically opposed to chaos, live in Cities of Sigmar. That's what order means. It's why Iden F. Deepkin, who are basically evil, Daughters of Cain too, who are pretty evil. That's why they're part of order, because they will put aside their differences, because they are opposed to chaos in all its forms. Directly opposed to chaos in all of its forms. What's your current favourite legion in MESBG, even just aesthetically? I really love the Bjornings myself, along with my beloved dwarfs. For me, it's Rohan all the way. Rohan all day. I love Rohan. I love the Rohirrim. They are my favourites of all times. Which, you know, Tolkien and I have that in common. So that's my favourite. I posted a video of my Thranduil base for you to be jealous of in the Discord, in the show off your stuff section. Did you, by Jove? Where is it? Is that a magnetized base? It is indeed. Well done. It's good stuff. Very well done. Nice. First one of these I've actually managed to make live rather than catch up. How much are we a fan of the current weather / forecast no longer melting in the Warhipster penthouse? Very, very happy. Very, very, very happy that it is significantly cooler. It means I can concentrate. It means I can build stuff. It means I can paint stuff. It means I can film. It means I can film all day. I filmed all day today. Apart from a little excursion Alice and I went on earlier. But I managed to film throughout most of the day. Because the frustrating thing with having to have the aircon and the fans and all this kind of thing on is that I have to redo all of the voiceover anyway when it comes to the edit. So it means that it just extends that edit time. And it's really annoying. And then I'm editing anyway and I've got the bloody aircon now next to me so I can barely hear it. But yeah, I managed to film all day today, which is really cool. Actually, something I've forgotten to do on the stream all day is I needed to update this, because we are now sat at 360 models painted. The model I painted I cannot show you, but we are at 360 models painted. Dear Warhipster, I am now finishing my Gorger Moor pack from Warcry using your superb tutorial. Can you help me with finishing the stones on their bases? Can you enlighten me with your recipe for stones? Let me have a look. Gorger Moor pack. Gorgeous Moor pack, more like. Am I right? Am I right? I don't know why I'm trying to do it that way. View it on YouTube. Come on. Stop it. Those are Black Templar dry brush with Tyrant Skull. That's how I did those. I thought that might be the answer, but I had to check. New Dot Prime, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. How do you recover from a failed painting project? That depends on the failure and on the painting project. Have you got a little bit more context for me? And also, how is it failed? Is it failed? I try to avoid... When I'm thinking about the way I hobby, I try to avoid terms like failure or mistake. They're more like opportunities. It goes kind of around. I think I've talked about this in the past, but it's kind of around reframing these things in your mind. It's basically practicing a form of mindfulness, really. But it's about you can make mistakes, and there's an opportunity to fix them. And if sometimes within that opportunity, you discover a new technique or a new thing. So it's like. I don't know if those are the right words, as it were. I try to be a lot more optimistic, which is interesting because I'm very pessimistic about a lot of things. But when it comes to Warhammer Project, I'm generally not at all. But yeah, what ails you, New Doc Prime? Let us know. I'm still shocked they didn't sculpt new riders for the starter Rohan box. It is a bit surprising. It would be strange. I could see it happening in the next year or so, but I could also see it not. Tried to kit bash Sisters and Escher, but model's too small and can't see any of the detail to paint. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. I think in that situation, what you've probably got an opportunity to maybe do is practice your sculpting to re-sculpt in some details. I'm not very good at kit bashing. I'm not very good at building full stop. I know my limitations. That was a struggle building Thranduil. We've done it. I don't know how well I've done it, but I've done it. So it is what it is. Maybe what you have as an opportunity there is to practice sculpting on, robes and things in order to maybe cover some things that you're not particularly happy with, or sculpting in furs and things to add some detail and stuff like this here and there. That would be my advice. Would be to recover from a failed project is to try and reclassify it as something else to do, to practice and to learn from, as it were. Because the material is still there. It's still something that you still can achieve something with it, even with like I say, I mean, I focus mostly on the paint jobs, right? But sometimes it's like I can come across something that is someone would describe as an abject failure if I got the color completely wrong. But in my mind, there's a lesson to be learned in maybe there's a different layer that goes over the top that changes the color to what I actually want it to be, or there's a different corrective glaze, or there's another paint that I can learn about and how it works and how it interacts with the contrast paint and the recipe that I'm currently figuring out. That for me is that because you know I love models, I love Warhammer as it were. So for me, I'm always like, there's always something that can be done, as it were. Does that make sense? Does that help, or does that just feel condescending? Because I recognise that can seem like a bit like a duh, as it were. Just want Gondor to get the current Rohan treatment. I agreed. I would like it all. Since we're assembling Thranduil, is he next on the block for painting tutorial or in the queue? He is in the queue. The queue is nebulous, though. The queue is infinite. And something that is at the end of the queue, far way down the queue, might go straight to the top of the queue. For example, the Green Knight was quite far down the queue, but it has come right up the queue as something to do, because I have somebody who's asked for it as a Patreon reward. So I've ordered it. It's on its way. It's taken ages to get here, but it's on its way. So eventually we'll get to doing that, and sooner rather than later. As an example, that's how it works around here. But obviously, I can't tell you the full queue because there's quite a lot of things in there that I can't talk about. So yeah, it will happen. But he is built now, which is really exciting. Let's see if he still fits into his scenic base in a way that is pleasing to the eye. Seems like it is. This is going to be one of those ones where I'll have to sort of half hold it in place. When I actually come to paint the jobby. But we did it. We built an entire resin model and I didn't cry once. Well, I did cry once, but not about this. Pow! There it is. Yes, there's a gap. That just happens, okay? If I hold it like that, you'll never know. Come here. There we go. He is built at long last. You know what? As resin builds, that wasn't terrible. You know, we've suffered through some bad ones, like Alfarius. That was awful. But that one wasn't bad. Like I said, there's been much worse. Can I post links or no? No, unfortunately, you're not allowed. On YouTube. I'm allowed to because it's my channel. The new magazine after Combat Patrol is Spearhead. Yeah, I saw that going around today. That looks cool. I looked at it and I was like, oh, I've got most of these. Question, is there a contrast plus of Blood Knights and or Vardgeist also model that looks awesome? There is not a contrast plus tutorial for either of those. There's one that's kind of similar in terms of the Varg. There's the Vargulf, which is not similar to the Vargeists, but there is also the Vargskir. There's a two that could work for painting Vargeists, but when it comes to the Vargeists, you can pretty much follow the Gore Warden video and any of the Morgaunt stuff. The Hollowmorn, Blister Skin, and Gristlegore schemes just blow up to those. So there is that. Blood Knights are on the list of things to do. I have 5. I've built them. They are ready to be primed. I think they're primed. They are. I have 5 Blood Knights built and primed. So we'll just have to find the time to do them at some point. Because I'd like to. Because I need to do them and 20 Death Rattle Skeletons and 3 Vargeists in order to finish off the Soulblight Gravelord's Spearhead. I also need to do a White King on foot to finish off the other one, the Barrow one, the skeleton ones. So that's another one that I need to do. So eventually we'll find the time to do that, but I don't currently have it at the moment. In terms of like things that you could do for it, there's actually some really cool videos that I've done on Skaven where you get that sort of dark brown red, sort of the really dark red. Basically a case of using like Bal red over all of it, and then using some thin down Cygor brown to get it to the really dark sort of brownish red, and then using thinned down Blood Angels red to get the crimson of the 9. But the exact ratios of that would be, I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'd have to be painting it to be able to give you those. I've got 10 more Barrow Guard, Vordry, and Vampire Lord on Steed left, and your guides have been incredibly useful. That's awesome, Bradley. I like it. I like it. Hello, James. I really wish they would have given us new models for the Crypt Courtiers and Ghouls. I agree. I agree. I would like it. Like it a lot for the, especially for the, well, Crypt Horrors and Crypt Flayers would have been really nice. I suspected as much that there wasn't going to be them when Vargeists were still in the Soulblight Gravelord's Battletome, and it was still the old models. When I saw that, I was like, "Yep, they're not. That's not happening." Fleshing Accords. And it was. I was right. As I so often am. Oh. Petition for GW to make Othar Half King the new White King model and release him more widely. That would be nice. I didn't even know that that was a model until I started seeing everybody doing that. And I was like, oh. I've got the rubbish one. Where is he? He's here somewhere. Or he might be in the pile with the other skeletons. Yeah, he's over there. Yeah, I've got the one going on a square base. Yay, 90k subscribers. That's right. We crossed 90k today. 90,000. That's crazy. It's a crazy number. It is absolutely crazy. What kind of exclusive content exists between Warhipster and Warhipster Patreons tiers? At the moment, there isn't very much at all, if anything. There's an old video there on how to do Salamander skin, but I need to update that. I'm thinking that there will... I'm going to put this Deathwing the Battleline Deathwing video up as exclusive content. Mostly what happens from the Patreon tiers is the early access stuff, which I should actually have some of next week. Or the week after. Depends tomorrow and Friday. But yes, I need to get better at putting some of that stuff up. It's got to be the whole thing has been I've focused mostly on early access because I don't want to paywall too much, and I don't know how interesting it is me just talking about what I got up to in my day, as it were. So yeah, there was this thing I was going to put up this week. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out this weekend. Want to show off Glorfy Boy, but he's still primed. He's not changed. There's him. Take a moment to think about the fact that hitting 90,000 means you could fill Wembley Stadium with your subscribers. That is. Alice asked me earlier. She said, "What? You should look up what stadium that can fill." And I went Wembley. So I knew Wembley was at 90,000. Contrast Plus tutorial for Smaug next. We're a little way off that, given as he's not built. You get Glorfindel on foot and mounted, right? That is correct. Yes. He needs a dust. It's been a while since I've picked him up. Give him a good dusting. There we go. Problem fixed. Yeah, on my desk currently lives Glorfindel and Gandalf the White. As models to do when I get a minute. Imagine sitting in the middle of Wembley pitch painting with 90k sat there watching. I mean, that would bring me out in a cold sweat. Just finished building Smaug. You will 100% have to gap fill. Yeah, I'm pretty certain. Well, I mean, I trust you. Yes, I'm imagining that is exactly the case. And that was one that I would probably have to do, which means I'm going to have to enlist the services of someone who is good at doing that to help me with it. Because this is the thing, is I'm bad at this stuff, and I know my limitations. And when I'm bad at it, I shouldn't attempt it, because all I will do is muck it up, and that would make me really sad. Just 10k more for 100k. Well, less than that. 9,992. It's a 4-figure number. It's been a 5-figure number ever since 0. Well, ever since 1. Ever since my first subscriber, who I'm pretty certain was me. I can't remember. I think I made the channel, put the first video live, and then I had my other YouTube account, which is the one I had used to watch all videos on as a viewer. And I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go subscribe to my YouTube channel, pow." Took me about a week to build. Letting the putty dry between sessions, pinning everything together was a tough challenge. It was a great experience. So this is the thing, is I need to learn how to do it. It's just, what I would much rather have is somebody who's just used to doing things like drilling and pinning and gap filling and all that. Sit with me and show me how to do it. Because for me, like, reading how to do it is just an awful experience. It's not. I am a kinesthetic learner. I learn by doing. So being told or watching doesn't work for me. I learn by doing. So having somebody doing it with me and showing me where I'm going wrong and what I should be doing, and like going like drill there, use this drill bit and do it like this. Now you do it. That for me is the best way. Best way to do those sorts of things. What was your first ever tournament / event you went to for any GW War game system, official or local? My first proper event was at a place in Nailsworth called Scisoft, and it was a little 40k tournament, very small 40k tournament. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 6 tables, like 12 people. And I won. Because I took I took something I didn't realise was as good as it was. I just took what I thought was cool. I took a very old, this was a long time ago now, I would have been 15, so this is 20 years ago. No. How old am I? I'm 35 in a month. Yeah. 15, 16. Yeah, just 19, 20 years ago. It was a long time ago. Long time ago. And yeah, I took some Grey Knights with Inquisitorial Stormtroopers and Allied Space Marines. Well, Inquisitorial Space Marines. And I had my Grandmaster. These are ancient metal Grey Knights. As I recall, that army had Grey Knight Terminators, 1 strike squad, a Grandmaster, and I think it had Brother Captain Stern in it as well, I want to say. I think. Will you cry if you get yelled at for doing something wrong? Yes. Yes. I'll sit with you and show you these things. Oh, thank you, James. I must stress, you have to be next to me. Basically, Josh has always been a metagamer, bringing his opponents to tears. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I've always been a metagamer. The second event I went to, we had that at the club. That was 40k. And we had a 40k club at school. I didn't do very well in that at all. I was playing with what was a nascent Blood Angels collection. This is back when you had rules where you rolled a dice for every one of your units to see if they fell to the Black Rage. So you just ended up with, a situation where various models just ended up as Death Company and then were not as effective as they were before. Because you would lose things. You would lose stuff like characters would go? You'd lose stuff like the las cannon from a Devastator squad or something like that. And it's like, oh no. I needed that. So yeah, that was the event that I went to. And then I didn't really go to that many events until I was an adult, really. In the grand scheme of things, I haven't been to that many, really, for the amount of time I've been a hobbyist. I think the thing the thing I've done the most is like hobby day at Games Workshop. Like I used to do that a lot when I was a kid. Go to Games Workshop Gloucester on a Sunday, more often than not. Or a Saturday or a Sunday, whatever the kids one was. And whenever that was, is what I used to do. That I used to do that a lot. And then when I kind of made a sort of big triumphant return, the one that is stuck, which is where I am. Is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I went to Tottenham Court Road a lot on a Wednesday, and a Thursday, and then by the end I was going sort of 3 or 4 days a week because I didn't want to be in London anymore. Will you cry if I open PayPal? You can look at whatever app you want to on your phone. You know, you can look at YouTube. You can look at your online banking. You can check your cool. I've got a cool to-do list app now. I've got a really cool to-do list app. I finally paid for it as well. It's called Note Circle. It lets me move things around. Now I would show you this app, as I sometimes do on my phone, but it's full of all the things I need to do, and I'm not allowed to show you any of them. But it lets me have a to-do list, a routine, an event. I can put checklists and stuff in here, which is cool, and I can move stuff around now. And I have an endless to-do list, which is nice. Which means I'm gonna consolidate all of my to-do lists into here. So things like all of the tutorials and stuff that we've talked about in the past. Hopefully, I'm gonna get my inventory in here when we're starting the move process. This is where I'm going to track it, which is nice. It's just I've got a bit of admin now I can do, but it's basically like a case of I can stay on top of things a little bit more, and I like to have it in the palm of my hand as well, which would be cool. But so far, I mean, I have stuff on my notepad. I also can't show you my notes because my notes are full of stuff. But I'll tell you now, I have over 3,000 notes on my phone and iCloud altogether. It's where I put things like the paints used and stuff. So I've still got all of those. I never delete any of them. Like the paints used lists when I'm making the videos. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'll stand behind you, Patrick Swayze, ghost style. Don't threaten me with a good time, James. How far in advance do you get models? It varies. It really varies. Sometimes you get them a fair bit in advance. Sometimes you get them with not very much notice at all. It's sadly, like most things, it's at the mercy of the delivery, the courier. iCloud. Ew. Sorry. It works in the ecosystem though, Captain Mannerings. I'm sorry. Have you tried the Duncan Rhodes tooth-thin coats range at all? And if so, what is your opinion? Are they up to GW quality? I'm trying to find some equivalent paints for the non-contrast. So I have a... That's really annoying. I can't grab the box because it's underneath something I can't show you. So I can do that. I have a starter paint set. So I can do this off camera. Oh, I don't know where to put that now. Alright, we're all good. Didn't accidentally flash anything. So I bought this at UK Games Expo. This has Sanguine Scarlet, Skulker Yellow, Marine Blue, Fanatic Orange, Emerald Green, Amethyst Rain, Doom Death Black, White Star, lol, Scorched Earth, Sir Coates Silver, Dragon's Gold, and Battle Mud Wash. My intention is to test them at some point. I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. I'm sure I will. But this is 9 acrylics, 1 wash, and 2 metallics. I want to give them a test. I was going to buy the whole range, but it was very expensive at UK Games Expo, so I was like, no. That's a bit rich for my blood. Or one of my favourite, which is one of my favourite Ted Lasso quotes. It's like when I got addicted to fettuccine Alfredo. It's a little rich for my blood. I've been an Apple user for 19 years and know all about the bloody ecosystem. Oh dear. Hi Warhipster, I have a question about upcoming kill team. Did you thought about painting scheme that you will be using? For which kill team? Especially the Necrons. I will be doing them in the colours that they are on the box art. Is the answer to that question. As to how I did that, I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. Anyway. What time is it? It is 11:15. 20 to 18 minutes to 11 to be precise. So, it means that we've been live for 2 hours and 11 minutes. Yes, that is correct. So, we are going to wrap things up there. Thank you so much for hanging up with me tonight. Oh God, I've gone loopy. I've had a long day, and it's going to get longer. Somebody asked earlier, how many hours a day do I paint? Well, we've had a good day today, and this will be a 12 to 14 hour day, I'm sure. But I've got some stuff I've got to go and do now. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Again, I'm the favourite. Thank you very, very much for just being super generous, as always. You're a very, very generous person. Thank you so much. Unbelievable support. Thanks for letting us chill with you, brother. You're very welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you to everybody who liked the stream. This week coming up, all that's left is the Arcanist Evaluator and the High Falconer Felgrin. You have those 2 videos left to go that are filmed. I need to edit them. We should do that. Maybe that was what I was going to do. I was going to edit them both and put one of them up as early access. I think that is what I was going to do. I'll see how my day goes tomorrow. Either way, there'll be more content for you on Saturday, of course. There'll be more content next week. There is always content. There is content every single week. We will hopefully get a Just Paint or Play Nighthaunt shot as well in the coming days, and we'll do a second one of those. And you can see all about the thoughts that I have for Nighthaunt. We covered it a little bit today. We have a little bit more. Have a lot more detail to go through. Anyway, thank you very much for hanging out with me tonight. Here is the Hand of Farewell, and I shall see you all very soon in the next one. We will be live once more on Monday at 5:30 PM BST, and then live hopefully again next Wednesday. But for now, I will have to see you tomorrow for a painting video. Love you, chat, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!